Hi Gemini, this is your 2016 horoscope with me, Lada from astrolada.com. For everyone who has their ascendant, sun or moon in Gemini. And I always advise you, at least check your ascendant sign. Everyone checks just their sun sign, but the sun sign is it's very important again, but it's just one part of the whole picture. The ascendant sign is the most specific one. And you can find out your ascendant sign if you know your time of birth. Also, you can find out your moon sign. Many women correspond more to the moon sign, what's happening. And very many people born during the night correspond more to the moon sign because they're night people, night birds. But if you can check the three signs, if you have enough time, if not, at least your ascendant sign and your sun sign, combine them both. Or if you're a woman, your ascendant and moon sign. So you can find them at my birth chart calculator. You need to know your time of birth, put the details there, and go to the planetary detail table and even mark down the degree. If you happen to have sun, moon, or ascendant in Gemini, put also the degree of your sun, moon, or ascendant, because I'll be giving you some specific degrees here in this prediction and what it means and who to be more careful, who will benefit more. So let's see what's happening in 2016. It's very happening here, Gemini. For all the mutable signs, as they know, Gemini, Pisces, Sagittarius, and Virgo, there's a strong trigger of all the major players, astrologically speaking, are in those signs right now, and will be, not right now, in 2016, they will be for sure. So very much what they'll form a shape like a cross, actually, at certain periods of the year, around the spring and sometime, around March and around June. And when they are like that, and even, when they are like that, like on a cross, there is, like a person feels like they're on a crossroad. The person feels like they've been put on a cross like Jesus Christ, and they have to make an important decision, and they might have to sacrifice something in order to move forward, but you'll be forced to make some decision. If you haven't had the courage or the energy to do it, those planets on a cross will make things happen for you. If you don't want it, it comes from the outside and it's very stressful and you don't have much of a choice. If you're more of a conscious person, then you can start implementing in that direction of changes in regards to many areas of your life. Gemini, already before that, and when the crosses happen, they just will manifest the things you've been working on, because the cross is the sign of the earth, of earthly manifestation. So even though they're psychologically tense and difficult configuration, and you might feel under pressure and under a lot of tension and under a lot of responsibility, despite of that, they make you manifest and they make things happen in your life. They move the wheel of the wheel of fate spins around, and if it's a wheel, but it's kind of more like a square wheel. So imagine being on a cart that goes with square wheels. So it feels a bit like a bit of a proper shake up, but it moves you forward and it manifests, and your fortune can be moved, can be spun out now. So let's see what areas of your life these changes and these major crossroad decisions you have to make. First of all, Saturn and Mars for a big part of 2016 will be in your 7th house. The two malefic planets, they're two bodies, Whenever they go in some house, if you have not been taking proper care of those areas of your life, there will be, those areas of your life will definitely, you'll be shown the errors. You'll have to reap the results of your actions. Did you neglect your spouse? Maybe you might be surprised now. It's not a surprise so much that Saturn brings. It's definitely something that it's been brewing. You've been neglecting or not been putting enough attention, or they've been escalating problems in that area. And when Saturn and Mars go into your 7th house of relationship, business, or personal, these things come to the surface. You can no longer put them under the carpet and pretend they're not there. Let's patch things up. Everything is okay. No, you have to. If you want to keep a relationship, you have to confront, you have to speak about those things, you have to work on them hard, both sides will have to want to keep this relationship, to make some effort, because Mars and Saturn only allow us to keep something if it's right for us, if we're making an effort about it, about it. They will bring some obstacles, possibly, or more strained situation in your relationships, business or partnership, or business or personal, like marriage or boyfriend, girlfriend, live together situation. And whether you deal with those problems easy or no, depends how healthy the foundation of your relationship is overall and how healthy you do relationships overall, you know. Because sometimes someone can be a total invalid and cripple when it comes to relationship. And those two difficult planets go there in your 7th house, and you totally lose it and you can't cope with the situation, you know. But if you're emotionally healthy, if you've been putting good efforts in your business relationship, nurturing them, you know, being honest, faithful in your relationships, if you've been doing your major partnerships and marriage or whatever, if you've been doing them, putting in the past couple of years efforts in them, trying to solve problems, then even if Saturn and Mars bring some escalation of difficulties, these will glue you even further together, because Saturn is very much a planet of further commitment if there are no problems, if you've solved problems. But if you haven't, they come to the surface and you have to correct them now. And the correction happens through hard work, through humbleness, through be humble if you want to keep it, and do some restructuring there in regards to your relationships. That will help. But relationship which are at the end of their rope, Saturn Mars come in your 7th house. Either you or them, there might be an exit, because Saturn separates us from things which are no longer healthy and good for us, and we have to be grateful for that. For example, I had a client who had Saturn transit in his 7th house, and this business partnership of his broke down, and he's invested a lot of money in it, and the business partner just said, I want to do the project like that. He said, no, I want it like that. And she just told him, right, you're no longer part of my business. So she kicked him out. And he was very distraught at that moment. But 2 years later, he came to me and he said, oh my God, I'm so glad we broke up that business partnerships, because if I had stayed there, she sunk the whole company. She was going to take not only the money I invested now, but all my businesses were going to sink with that. So Saturn prevents us, you know, if we've been blind to see something, Saturn will prevent it from us, business partnerships or association with someone or relationships that has been unhealthy for us. Saturn takes it away, and even if it feels painful at the moment, later on you're grateful. Later on you see, wow, I'm so glad I didn't stay. It was going to sink the whole ship otherwise. But as I said, if you work hard on relationships, Saturn can bring rewards of sort, like further commitment. But again, it won't happen so much smoothly, because there are two difficult planets. You have to, you know, work a bit on that. Business partnerships, because Saturn is the planet of hard work, and business partnerships can be starting business partnerships can be more productive. Now, personal relationships feel a little bit more like you have to take new responsibilities, more burdensome and, you know, more serious, not so much fun. But when it comes to business relationships, it's good, because Saturn resonates with that energy, contracts and things like that. But you have to pay good attention that you're not misled in some way, and you have to be very careful, because Saturn can give good results in business partnerships, in business deals, and if you're in trade in some way, if you're in counseling or working with others one-to-one, you can have a very busy and demanding 2 years, 2016 and 17, because Saturn is planet of work in the 7th house of markets, of business, of trading, exchanging goods, doing contracts and partnerships and selling, buying from another, you know, any kind of such businesses. It can be very good. You can put a lot of extra efforts, a lot of extra responsibilities in those partnerships and in those deals, or in your work with others one-to-one. But Saturn rewards hard work. Saturn rewards it, so that's good. But if something is not really right, Saturn will eliminate it in regards to relationships, business deals and things like that. So don't regret what Saturn eliminates. It was not for you. Or maybe you're not taking good care of it. Maybe your partner left because you were neglecting the partner. But why were you neglecting the partner? Because maybe this partner was not the right for you. Otherwise, you'd not be doing that, you know. And even if you're lying to yourself, probably the fault is in that. And sometimes more karmic relationships happen when Saturn is in the 7th house. Relationships that feel more burdensome, that feel more like they're obstacles that have to be overcome, and Mars is joining this, so there might be more arguments than normal. And especially those of you, Gemini, who are the May-born Gemini, they can feel that more strongly. If you have your ascendant or your moon, the first 10 degrees of Gemini, because Mars will be in your 7th house 2-3 times and over those first 10 degrees of Gemini. So check, do you have ascendant or moon 0 till 10 degrees in Gemini? Then be careful, especially around periods like March, April, May. This can be very intense periods when it comes to your relationship. There might be power struggles, arguments, confrontation with others, and the ball is in the other person's hand. So try to, not to antagonize others, because they'll react very strongly to you. If you want to pass through without complications and problems in relationships, especially around those months I mentioned, and if you have your sun, if you're May-born Gemini, your sun or ascendant or moon in the first 10 degree of Gemini, then try to be less confrontational, try not to overreact, try to take a few deep breaths before you react, because you might regret after that, you might act too rashly. But again, if you lose a person or a partner or a client, because 7th house also rules clients, people you work with, one-to-one, that are equally placed, equal. He's not someone that works for you, he's your client, your equals, or he's your business partner. You might cut off Mars and Saturn to malefics can cut off the ones that are more toxic people from your life, and or if you've been toxic towards others, now you bear the consequences. But especially while Mars is retrograde in your 7th house, those spring months for the Northern Hemisphere, try not to react so you don't regret after that, but you can be very productive working on something very hard with others, one-to-one, tackling some big problem together with another person, whether it's partner or personal relationship. So as I said, Saturn in particular will affect which one of you. And there might be some pressure coming to you with Saturn in the 7th house, pressure coming to you from others in your life. Maybe like when I had Saturn transiting my 7th house, my partner was really on my neck all the time to perform better, to work better. I was thinking, no, I'm going to become a waitress again. He was saying, no, you're going to work. He was doing me a schedule, and all the pressure was coming from him. Some kind of outer figure can be putting pressure on you, another person, to perform better, to work harder. It might be beating down on your confidence, Gemini, but sometimes we need to be pressured a bit. And you also yourself, you're putting pressure on yourself, and especially those Gemini will feel that, and the reevaluation, reality check of their relationship, pressure from their partners, new responsibilities that they have to take with their partners. And if their partners, so they don't agree on those new responsibilities, Gemini, this relationship will fall apart, whether it's business partnership or will suffer in some considerable way, or whether it's personal relationship, marriage, or business partnership. If new responsibilities are not taken, which Saturn demands for further commitment, new responsibilities, which feel like a burden, they're a bit heavier, maybe buying property together, maybe deciding to have a child together, something new responsibility, maybe working on some project together. And if the other partner does not agree on that, or if you don't agree, often Saturn can make more tense period for your relationship, or even fall apart this relationship. And especially those of you Gemini who are born from wait a second, from around the 31st of May, 30th, 31st of May, till around the 8th of June, they're going to have Saturn most intensely. They're going to feel it most strongly. So those born, they have to work harder. They have to be more humble. Pressure can come to them through relationships in particular. But in regards to their work and all their actions, they have to invest now energy. And they have to invest a lot of efforts, but not expect immediate rewards. They're investing in something, So it's the not so fun part of building something rather than seeing the results of it, you know. But it's a necessary period. When I had Saturn opposite my Sun, not only was partner pressuring me, but I was starting my business then, so I had to work very hard for a year. And it was something I was not used to, extra responsibilities, duty in regards to your career, because if you're born on those days I mentioned, the Sun rules also your career. So you can feel this pressure and extra responsibilities and duties and testing of your career in some way. And some certain delays, but you can work through them. Step by step, humbly, day by day. Don't worry, when Saturn moves away from those degrees, you'll start seeing the results of that hard work. And you have to push yourself harder. If usually there might be someone to do it now, because it's an opposition, if there is no one, your inner self has to push yourself. Otherwise, you'll feel dissatisfied and unhappy with you. So some restructuring in your career, very likely. Some extra pressure and responsibilities from authority figures, male figures, or father figures in your life, or boss figures. And there might be certain blockages in regard to work, but if you're working hard, don't worry, experience will not be wasted. And if you're born with ascendant or moon on those degrees, where Saturn is transiting exactly, which are from 9 till 17 degrees in Gemini. If you're ascendant, you see ascendant, say 12 degrees in Gemini. Well, then Saturn will transit exactly opposite your 7th house of relationships. So everything that I talked about relationship, it will happen. You know, not everything, but one of those things. Depending if you've been taking good care of your relationships, they can commit deeper, take new responsibilities in those relationships. Work relationships can form in partnerships, or test of your relationship. If it's not going well, it can escalate. And those of you, 7th house is also I lost it, I'm sorry. Yes, Saturn transiting the 7th house, opposition your ascendant. It's a period of Saturn starts climbing, if it's your ascendant in Gemini, from 9 till 17 degrees. Saturn starts climbing the top of your horoscope. It's been for 15 years below the horoscope. So now you start rising, coming more into the public eye, especially with the work you do. So it will be a very good time to do something in 2016 and 17 if it's your ascendant in those degrees. And generally, your ascendant in Gemini. To do something, to start rising on the horizon, to start being recognized by others, and Saturn will help you in that direction. And actually partnering with another might be a way in a business partnership to do that. Okay, let's see what else is happening. Jupiter, wherever Jupiter is, we have support there. We have things, we're not being shown our errors, like Saturn in the 7th house, when we can see what we've been doing wrong in relationship till now, so we have to correct it. Or if we've allowed someone to treat us wrong in relationships, and if we're always the victim, Saturn goes in the 7th house, and you cannot tolerate that anymore. You put boundaries in relationship. You say, that's it, I only want serious relationship. I don't want someone to play around with my heart. I'm not going to give you a heart. When Saturn is in the 7th house, serious relationship only work. If you go for one night stands and things like that, they're not going to work. And you can attract partners while Saturn is in your 7th house, but you can attract partners who are older than you, or more responsible, or type of Capricorn people, maybe Capricorn ascendant, Sun, Moon, people that are more, or older in age, 7 years or plus, or authority figures of some sort. They might be a bit more boring and a bit more demanding and a bit more putting pressure on you, but these are the type of people you'll benefit most from now. And where is Jupiter though? Where is this helpful energy in your life in 2016? Jupiter will be in your 4th house, Gemini. And so it means you have the green light to expand in regards to family. Oftentimes I see when someone has Jupiter in the 4th house, they can add a member to their family. So you see how well it ties up with Saturn in the 7th house, having to take new responsibilities together with your partner. If a child comes, Jupiter in your 4th house, expansion of family, well, that's extra responsibilities in your partnership. So some of you Gemini, ascendant, Sun, and Moon, that can happen to you. Another thing that can happen is Jupiter in the 4th house. You can, for example, if you have a very small house, you can expand it. You can build a few wings to the house, add an extra room, do some renovations, but they're positive there. Of course, you have to work for that, and you have to make effort, but Jupiter makes it possible now. Or if you've always wanted to buy property, now you can do it, especially very likely connected to some kind of partnerships as well, because property is a new responsibility, extra responsibility in partnership, you know. But Jupiter in the 7th house, in the 4th house, can allow you to buy property, sell property if you want to be free from it, can save you from some problem with property. Even if it creates some little problem initially, it's there to warn you and to protect you from bigger problems. So you might become aware of something dodgy with the property papers or with land, or something dodgy in the foundation of the house or something. But still, it's a protective influence, you know, because you fix it. Jupiter helps you very quickly organize how to improve that, and you get positive, you know, you've been prevented from something more negative. 4th house is your family. Your mother, your father, or if you have your own family later in life, it's your own family. So your strength of support and positive energy is coming from those areas. I remember when Jupiter was transiting my 4th house, because first we got a new flatmate, and she was amazing, a new member to the family, even though not exactly like family, but we had then a flatmate, and we were so lucky with that. And at the same time, for about a year, and for you, Gemini, it will be till the September, Jupiter in your 4th house. And in the same year, we bought property as well after that. And in the same year, I was constantly talking on the phone. And when Jupiter was in the 4th house from my sun, I was constantly, you know, because you have to count either from the sun, ascendant, or moon. You can reconnect with your family. You can get closer to them emotionally. I was all the time on Skype with my mom. Then I just felt like I felt the need of my family, reconnecting, and I was reading a lot about history and my roots, because the 4th house is your roots, and you can heal some bad memories or traumas from your childhood, from the past. There can be emotional healing when Jupiter is in the 4th house. It's positive for such kind of things. Maybe with psychologists examining certain things, why your emotional reactions like that. Jupiter is the planet of wisdom and brightness and knowledge, so it brings light into a dark area of your life, which is feelings. Very few people are in touch with their feelings very well. And when Jupiter transits one's 4th house, you can see your motivations, emotional motivations for certain behaviors that usually span from something that happened in your childhood, the earlier part of your life. And Jupiter can help you, if not even remember this situation, can help you shed a light on that and overcome some emotional hang-ups. Activities regarding home, family, you have to make important decisions, because you're put on this cross, important decisions with relationships, important decisions with personal life, family, mother, father, children, you know, place of living. And part of the cross becomes Neptune in your 10th house. So some important decisions can be likely you might have to make in regards to your career. On a crossroad, you have to make decisions there. And it's all those important cardinal life things, career, family, and especially it might be more tense for you, Gemini, in 2016 when the sun comes and does this square. The sun when makes it full, which is in June approximately. So the June 2016 can be an intense period of new beginnings. A lot of you will be put on a crossroad that you have to choose. Especially the June-born Gemini, from the 1st to around the, let me just check, from around the 1st to around the 12th, 13th, they'll have to make some 12th, 13th of June-born Gemini, or those who have from 10 till 20 degrees planets, or even before that, you know, from 5 till 20 degrees ascendant or moon. So, but all Gemini will feel it in June like a time, and for a lot of Gemini, the year 2016, from their birthday to their next birthday in 2000, if you're a sun in Gemini, of course, will be a year of powerful, because around their birthday there is a grand cross, and it indicates that the whole 12 months after that are periods of big life changes, a big life readjustment. So this 2016 for you, what I want to say is a year of powerful manifestation, of powerful restructuring in your life in 4 major spheres: your personal path, particularly relationships, particularly family and such things, and career can also be involved. So, the good things with cross indications, with cross, it's material manifestation of some sort. Okay, let's see. But it's not easy psychologically. And I think we passed almost everything. Yes, we said everything about Gemini. Time for manifestation, but requiring a lot of your hard-earned efforts. If problems come, they can come from others, relationships, but they can be also the motor, the engine that pushes you to instigate changes. Thank you very much, Gemini. You can subscribe to my channel. You can follow all my videos. I do not only predictions, I teach astrology as well in free videos. So you can call me for a personal reading, or you can call to one of my psychics and astrologers. They're amazing. I personally have readings with them too. And yeah, thank you so much.